Attention all units, a 117. Here's a description of the suspects involved in the armed robbery of the Southwest Bank.
We all love stories about criminals, about heists, setups, and complicated schemes. There's something compelling in them, not just the action, but the tension between people who don't trust each other and still go all the way. Film noir gives the perfect stage for that. Classic gangsters, former soldiers, men who snapped at the wrong time. Yes, there are cliches, of course. But that's what the genre is built on. Tired faces, heavy shadows, and stories that rarely end clean. Kansas City Confidential is one of those movies that hit differently. It starts hard and stays cold. Men with no small talk, masks, hiding faces, and someone caught up in it, out of nowhere. But this film isn't about the crime. It's about what happens when someone innocent gets framed and chooses not to disappear, but to trace it all back and send the bill. Let's take a closer look at how it starts and why this noir is still worth watching.
So I'm still listening.
It all starts with a robbery, planned and executed with precision, full anonymity. Everyone wears a mask, no one knows who's standing next to them, and the only link between them is the man who put it all together. He didn't gather them out of loyalty or ideals, but through pressure, debt, and fear. Each one was pulled in separately, and when it was done, they were sent off the same way. But someone had to take the fall. That someone turned out to be Joe, a delivery driver hauling flowers who, on the surface, had nothing to do with any of it.
Why, I ask myself, would a man with such training want to take a job outside his line?
To set up a touch for over $1 million, that's why.
All right, Rolf. You can go. Sorry we had to detain you.
Thanks. For nothing.
Except he wasn't the kind to just take it. He didn't stay silent. He didn't disappear. He started digging, not as a detective, but as a man who'd been written off for no reason. The trail leads across the border, and then to a quiet resort town where the others start to appear. Faces from the job, still strangers. No one knows who's who, but the tension grows, and everyone's waiting for someone to make the first move. That's where it all converges. Not just for the money, but because someone's here to settle the score. And now, let's break down why this noir still holds up, and what makes it hit harder than most.
That explains everything but this. Must remember, I'm taking no chances with you between here and Barados, partner.
Kansas City Confidential isn't trying to be noir. It just is. No stylization, no winks, no polish. It's tight, sharp, and stripped of extras. It doesn't build an atmosphere. It just moves forward. Nothing drags. Nothing's off. Every scene, every character, every beat lands where it should. The robbery setup is clean and cold. Everyone wears a mask. No one knows who they're working with. And the longer it goes on, the more you realize no one here is safe. Everyone's disposable. You're not waiting for action. You're watching for the crack. Because the pressure doesn't shout. It just stays. The torn playing cards, yeah, it's been parodied 100 times. But here, it fits. It's not a symbol, not a gimmick, just a way to survive. And it works. No spotlight, no drama. Just another piece of a system that's designed to avoid mistakes. The lead? Total shift. At first, he seems like background, a driver caught in the wrong place. But then he stands up, and he doesn't yell, doesn't swear revenge. He just starts moving. And the more you watch, the more you realize this guy's not going away. He's not here to talk, he's here to finish. And you want to see how far he'll go. The tone is rough, but not loud. Cops don't hold back. The criminals don't play games. The man behind it all pulls the strings without blinking. Even the lead, when he gets control, doesn't hold back. And when things ease up a little in the end, you feel it, but you don't mind. Because the tension was real the whole way through. The visuals don't try to impress. They just show what's there. Shadows hit hard, the streets feel bare, the faces look lived in. You're not watching a scene, you're in it. That's why it doesn't feel old. It feels solid. Then there's the setting. You think it's about Kansas City, and it starts there. But most of it happens in Mexico. Palm trees, sunlight, calm exteriors, and right under it, the same quiet paranoia. You keep expecting a break. You don't get one. And the contrast just adds weight. The cast? On point. Lee Van Cleef only shows up in a couple scenes, but he leaves a bigger mark than most leads do in a whole film. All tension, no waste. You feel him the second he walks in. The rest hold their ground too. Nobody fades out. Everyone brings something. A twitch, a look, a presence. It adds up. And the women? They're not leads, but they work. One's a distraction, no complaints. The other moves the plot when it counts. Both feel like they belong in the frame. And all of it, the structure, the tension, the way it's built, comes together in a film that just works. You're not watching for style. You're watching because it holds. The characters pull you in. The scenes stay tight. And you want to know how it all ends. That's what makes it worth it, even now.
3 little patsies, 1 down, 2 to go. You're being there to give us a lift, the money on a platter. A possible 20 years in stir. You're looking at the guy who was framed for the job. That's why I'm cutting myself in, whether you like it or not.
This one's for those who want noir without the extras. No long speeches, no overacting, no sentimental drama, just a tight story that keeps moving. If you're into characters who don't make speeches, they just refuse to disappear, this is it. If you like old films but hate the theater feel, this one plays it straight. Tough, quiet, no frills. And that's exactly why it works. Any downsides? Sure. The ending feels a bit softer than the rest. The women don't do much. They're just there. And it's not a visually beautiful film, but it's honest. And sometimes that's what hits the hardest. Because when a film doesn't try to impress you, it ends up staying with you.